guys, I'm Mike, and today I'm going to be making the most beautiful chocolate souffle. It's this really gorgeous, luxurious thing, and immediately you're terrified. You don't want to do it. This sounds too fancy. This sounds like something you get in a really fancy restaurant. I can't do this at home. You can do it at home. You can. It's so easy. It's so delicious, and it's pretty much made up of two things. It's made up from like a chocolate base, and it's made up from an egg white meringue. We put those two things together, we whack it in an oven, and you've got a chocolate souffle. It's easy. And I'm going to show you how to do it step by step in the most easy way that we can do. Okay? And we're going to start by talking about a really good quality chocolate. This chocolate comes from a chocolate company in my town, Hastings, called Only Cocoa. It's a brilliant quality chocolate. I spend so much time there just eating chocolate. And I found for me, like a 64.5% chocolate is the perfect thing. That's personal to everybody. Some people prefer milk chocolate, some prefer really dark chocolate. It's fine. Just give yourself a day, go to a fancy chocolate shop and find out what percentage you want and have some fun. Mine, 64.5%, Only Cocoa. This isn't an ad, but if you want to give me money, that's fine too. So we're going to start really, really simple. We're going to turn this, hold on. This will be an edit. Right, so it's really, really simple. You need a saucepan in here, and we need about 300 milliliters of a double cream. A thick cream, like a whipping cream, whatever it is like that. Just pour it in your saucepan. And just leave that to heat up. You don't want it to come to a boil. You just want it to get a bit hot, because we need that to make that chocolate melt, so we need it to be kind of hot as well. Now, here we go. We need 3 bowls for this. It's going to be a bit of washing up, but don't worry about it. Promise it's easy. We need 4 good eggs, and what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 egg yolks in this bowl, 2 egg yolks in this bowl, and 4 egg white in our mixer bowl. If you don't have a mixer bowl, just use another bowl. Don't worry about it, okay? So, use the shell to catch it. If you have like an egg separator tool, you fancy, so you probably know how to do this anyway. See, that cream's heating up. I'm separating eggs. Now if you're making soufflés, you can do this in advance, like this bit the day before, but it's the whipping of the egg whites that need to wait, that you need to do when you serve them, okay? But this, the base, don't worry about it, make it before. Now this is a really, really special dish. For me, this is one of those like nostalgic meals that you have that make you kind of think of memories. I worked for a really long time on a cruise ship for Disney Cruise Line. And on those ships, they have this fancy restaurant called Palo upstairs. It's one of those restaurants that as a mere crew member I wasn't allowed to pop into. But sometimes, this egg. I'm gonna use another shell for this. Sometimes, as a crew, we'd get rewarded. You can go to Palo. The good thing about Palo is the chocolate souffle. Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it. And it's amazing. You can make it at home. If you're missing cruising right now because of everything going on, make this at home. Perfect. Right, so egg whites we're going to put to one side and use later on. 2 egg yolks we're going to put to one side and use later on. Already getting easy. Give this a little stir, make sure it doesn't burn, make sure it doesn't catch. Egg yolks. 2 egg yolks and about 100 grams of sugar. So we want this to be quite thick. We're going to use a cheat, and we're going to use a spoonful of corn flour. Not much. This corn flour is going to just act as a thickener. It's a real genius tool. I've said before, put a box of corn flour in your cupboard. Break in case of emergency. Always have it. You can use this and just whisk up these egg yolks, whisk up the sugar. It goes nice and pale and creamy. This is bubbling away quite nicely. I'm going to take this off the heat. Just leave that because that's nice and hot. whisk this up. You want this to be pale and creamy. These egg yolks are beautiful in orange. Really, really nice. Now what's going to happen, we're going to put the cream in here, whisk it, and it's called tempering the eggs, okay? It's a real fancy term for just making sure they don't scramble. Nobody wants sweet, creamy scrambled egg. All right, I'm happy with that. It's pretty good. It's got ribbons as I whisk it. Now, our cream, add it in, just a little bit there, and whisk, 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 whisk. And what's going to happen? When those eggs heat up, when I put it back in there, when they heat up, when that flour heats up, it's all going to become like a thick pastry kind of cream. It's going to be banging. It's one of those things I could just eat with a spoon, but I am going to make it into a souffle. All right, so that's done. Pour the rest of the cream in there. Bang in, give it a whisk. And now, we're going to put it back on the heat. With a nice medium heat, nothing too strong. Heat it up. It's going to thicken. It's going to be beautiful. Now, easy. We're almost halfway there. Now's the fun bit. Now's when we're going to add this beautiful chocolate. If at this point you just wanted to do a vanilla souffle, whack some vanilla in there. If at this point you want to do a lemon souffle, some lemon zest and some lemon juice in there. If you want to do like a Bailey souffle, put some Baileys in there at this point. Now's the flavoring. I am just doing this beautiful, this chocolate. I'm going to put it in here. Just let it melt in that hot pastry cream. And as I mix it, it all melts in. Give it just a second to heat up. It's going to be this beautiful kind of silky chocolate sauce. And that's our sauce. That's the base. Sorry, that's the base of the souffle. It is that easy. It's that easy. It's that tasty. You can see as this thickens up, it's holding its shape in there. It's getting thicker. And the more it melts, the more that chocolate melts into that sauce. The beautiful dark chocolate, 64.5% chocolate. It smells so good. Oh, that is beautiful. So that beautiful chocolate base, we now need to cool down completely. So we're going to cover that in cling wrap. We're going to cover that in cling wrap. We're going to leave it to cool completely. Then we're going to come back, whip up our egg whites, and bake our souffle. It's that easy. Alright? Alright, I'm going to whack this in the fridge. So, our chocolate base is made, it's covered, it's in the fridge, and we're bringing it down to room temperature. Okay, the next step, the thing that people are so worried about with chocolate souffles, I'm going to break down and give you some great tips to avoid disaster. And these do work. So just remember these. If you've got a little notebook right now, write tip 1 and then tip 2, okay? It's that simple. We have here our ramekins that we're going to bake the souffles in. They're going to bake and be served in these. So get some nice ramekins. You can buy like desserts in supermarkets that come in ramekins. Just keep them. Put them in the cupboard. Wash them out. And these are great for souffles. What we're going to do, step 1. Tip 1 is get some butter. Just get a bit of the butter paper, the wrapper that it comes in. And we're going to rub around in here. This is doing 2 things, okay? This is making sure that the souffle doesn't stick. So when you're washing up, it's not an absolute nightmare. Step 2, what's going to happen as well, we're helping the souffle rise. With your chocolate souffle, you want it to rise up like it's growing out of this ramekin and have a little wobble. We're going to give it some emphasis. We're going to give it time to do that. So with your wrapper, when you're rubbing on the sides, go in the up direction. It sounds silly, it sounds like it's a made-up thing, but it is real. Do it and push it up. So when that is happening, you're telling the souffle in there what direction to go in. You're not telling it to go to the side, you're telling it to go up to give you that beautiful puffed up top and that wobble of that luxury. Oh. Soufflé. So excited. Now, do that to each and every one of them. It's going to be boring to watch me do 6 of these, but you know, we're here for the long haul. We're friends, we're family. Do that in here. This is one of those things when you're doing, and I know it happens to me as well, you kind of get bored. You're like, I've done one and I've really paid attention. Keep paying attention. Don't get complacent, you know. I do that when I'm chopping herbs. I try to do it really, really thin, then I get bored. But keep going. It's worth it. Keep rubbing in the butter in the up direction. And this is another thing that can be done in advance, okay? Now, in one of our ramekins, pour like a good amount of sugar. There's no exact measurement here. Then just roll it around. Have another ramekin there to catch it, and then we're going to shake out the excess into ramekin number 2, and then do it again. How easy is that? So now we're buttered, we're sugared, and that is ready to go in the fridge and let that butter chill up again, okay? We don't want that butter to get warm, we don't want it to melt into the souffle. That would be a disaster. We don't want that to happen. See, that's 2 things. 2 things you can do to make sure these souffles are perfect, and trust me, they work. Nobody wants a flat souffle. And this is like a dinner party thing, right? People are there, you want to impress them, you've made something nice. Maybe you've made a squidding lobster. Okay? Maybe you made a little ravioli from another video. Maybe you've made something else, who knows? Perfect. So we have these 6 ramekins, and now we're going to pop them in the fridge and let them chill up for later on. So 2 things done. Chocolate base has been made, ramekins have been buttered and sugared, and now we have to make the meringue and bake them, and you've got a souffle. Easy. Our chocolate base is done for our chocolate souffle. It's beautiful, it's thick, it's cooled down, it's absolutely delicious. This is a great chocolate pastry cream. Whack this in a piping bag and stick it in a profiterole, in a eclair, in a tart. Put a movie on, get a spoon and just eat it. It's honestly the best thing ever. But we are going to level up because we're feeling fancy. I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. We're leveling up. Now, we are going to make a meringue. Our egg whites, we're going to whisk them up. I have a KitchenAid stand mixer here. Not an ad, not hashtag gifted, but KitchenAid. If you want to give me some free stuff, I'm listening. My DMs are open, KitchenAid, okay? We're going to whisk these up till they get to stiff peaks, then we're going to fold them in. Now, if you do have a stand mixer, here's some advice, okay? When you pop it in, I find personally, sometimes it doesn't reach all the way to the bottom. So you might still have some egg white at the bottom that's not stiffed up. So what I do is I just do this first bit by hand and then let the KitchenAid finish it, because I'm not going to whisk egg whites by hand completely. So, in here, it's my Get Loud gang. Just whisk it. Woo! It's a workout. Whisking it till it gets foamy. That is all we're doing. You see we've already added some air. It's nice and foamy now. Now I'm going to go over to my stand mixer and let the KitchenAid do the hard work. That's whisking, it's doing its thing. Now we're going to add some sugar into it and make it a beautiful meringue. Fold it through our chocolate base, whack it in the oven. I'm going to make a cheeky little sauce because it's really simple, really easy, and we're done. Now this is something that we call soft peaks. As you see, it's holding its shape, but it's not sticking up. It's not a stiff peak. Now is a good time to add the sugar. You don't want to do it any earlier than that, or you might knock the air out of these beautiful egg whites. So, just a pinch. I've said before, I'm not great with measurements, so I'm going to add like maybe 50 grams. Put that in. Whisk it up until it gets to stiff beats. Stiff beats is when you get that whisk up and it holds its shape like a little mountain on top of the whisk. Now, the problem we're going to have, and the thing that is going to be a struggle, is these are two very different consistencies, so they're not going to mix together well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take like a spoonful, and we're going to sacrifice it to the souffle gods, okay? We're just going to beat that into here, this chocolate base. What this is doing is it's evening up and leveling up the consistency of the two mixtures. Now, at this point in your dinner party, what you want to do, you want to make sure your friends are sitting down, because these go in the oven, you've got about 15 minutes, and then they're being served, okay? These don't last, these can't be made really in advance. So make sure everyone's prepared. What I love is when I have these on in Palo, in that restaurant I was talking about earlier from Disney Cruise Line. When you eat your main course, the server comes up to you and says, just wondering, will you be having the souffle for dessert? The chef would like to start preparing it. And then you start to feel excited. Now we're folding this in. You notice I'm not whisking as much anymore. I'm not beating it in. I'm folding it in. I'm trying to protect that air. In the meantime, I have my oven preheating to about 200 degrees Celsius. Google what that is in Fahrenheit, I don't know. Sorry, gang. Emma, what is 200 degrees in Fahrenheit?
I don't know, I'll find out.
Emma is like my real life Alexa.
392.
Set your oven to 392 degrees Fahrenheit. I hope you have a really precise oven or an eagle eye. I'm going to make sure this is all mixed in together. No egg whites left. Guys, I'm so excited. I can feel the excitement in the room. While this is cooking, I'm going to make a really quick, easy sauce as well. I'm going to show you how to make it. It's a creme anglaise, but don't worry about that, we'll get to this soon. We've actually already made it chocolate version. Now we're going to make a vanilla version. So, here we go. Get your ladle, get your ramekin. This is in the fridge, I can feel it, it's nice and chilled. Buttered and sugared, going up, remember? We're going to take this, and what we're going to do is, it's going to be against everything you feel is right, we're going to overfill it, okay? We're going to fill that all the way up, like that. Going to give it a shake, give it a pat. Now, get something flat. This is just a bench scraper that I got when I bought like a sourdough starter from Home Kit. That was a disaster. Don't expect a video about that. Anyway, get this, and one quick smooth movement, get rid of it. Nice and easy. Flat top. Another tip to make sure you get that rise is you take a clean thumb, and you go around the outside. Hopefully that will make sure that the souffle rises perfectly. I've got some souffle on the floor, Emma, sorry. Alright, I'm going to do the rest of these. I'm going to put them in the oven. I think I might have enough for maybe 4 souffles here, maybe 5 if I'm frugal. I got 6 just in case. Give it a tap, let it all settle in, get rid of those air bubbles, get your straight scraper, cool, like that, get your clean thumb around the outside. Oh yeah, so souffles are in the oven, that's about 14 minutes that are cooking in there. Now we are going to make a sauce that goes with it. In this pan on a heat, much like earlier, I have 300 milliliters of double cream. That is heating up. It's the exact same as earlier, minus 2 ingredients. This is called a creme anglaise, which is like an English custard. It's actually, this is the mixture that you'd whip up in an ice cream machine and get vanilla ice cream, okay? But we are having it as a hot sauce to pour into that banging souffle, and it's going to be great. We have our 2 egg yolks in here with about 100 grams of sugar, white caster sugar. Give it a whisk up. Somewhere in this room, Emma, I have some vanilla extract. Vanilla extract. You're going to get that. I'm running very low on vanilla extract. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. There we go. Guys, PSA, very important. Please buy, guys, very important. Please buy vanilla extract and not vanilla essence. Vanilla essence is not vanilla. It's never been near vanilla. I actually tell you, as soon as this video is over, Google where vanilla extract comes from, and I guarantee you, you'll never eat it again, okay? I'm not going to say what it is on camera because I don't want to get in trouble, okay? But right here, cream, vanilla extract bubbling away over there. Our eggs, like earlier, we're whisking it together. This massive bowl that I've borrowed from this kitchen I'm in. I've rented this professional kitchen, by the way. This isn't my home kitchen. I don't live here. That would be crazy. Whisk that so it's nice and pale-ish. These are really good egg yolks, so they're not gonna be like as pale as the normal one. The normal one is the cheaper one, so it's always gonna have that tang to it. Beautiful. That's nice and thick. I can feel the sugar has dissolved into it. It's not grainy anymore, and this is heating up. I'm excited. I can feel it happening. I know the soufflés are in there. I know this is going to be great. Oh! In fact, I'm going to go check it. Yeah. I'm thinking of like, I'm sure, I know chocolate soufflés exist on places that aren't Disney Cruise Line, okay? I know that. But I'm thinking, I was there for 5 years, so I have these memories of having the evening off work and getting your nice shirt and tie on and going upstairs and eating the souffle, and everybody around you's talking about the chocolate souffle because everybody knows about it. I know there's recipe vids out there on like the Disney blogs about how to make the Palo souffle. This is my version. This is how I make it. It might not be the exact one, but this is the simplest version I could think of to make. And the good thing about using real vanilla extract is you get those awesome little black dots from those vanilla seeds in your custard that just make it feel more fancy. I'm all about making things feel fancy without doing any real hard work. You may have noticed. Much like earlier, we're going to temper those egg yolks. Look in here. Whisk, 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 whisk. Whisk away. You may have noticed we're not putting flour in this. We don't want it to thicken up to a cream, a kind of pastry piping cream consistency. You may have noticed I'm not using flour in here. I don't want it to be that thick consistency. I want it to be a nice pouring custard. Mixing that all in here. Getting everything is mixed. Pour it back on the heat. Don't use a whisk in here. Those egg yolks are going to heat up. Those egg yolks are going to act as a natural thickener in this custard. Let's have that on like a lowish heat. Mix it. And you'll know when it's ready when it coats the back of a spoon and you can like cut a line in it. Okay? I'll explain what that means when it's ready. I can feel it thickening up. Keep stirring, keep stirring. See what I mean? See how that's holding onto the spatula? If I get my little finger. It's such a good thing to have in your back pocket to know how to make this quickly. Let this mixture cool down. Put it in an ice cream machine and you have vanilla ice cream. Easy. When you whip up those egg yolks and sugar, put a spoonful of flour in there, like we did with the chocolate pastry earlier. You have a great vanilla cream to pipe into profiterole, into eclair, things like that. But this is done. Now it's all going to come together. we can get excited, and we can have a chocolate souffle with a creme anglaise. How easy was that? I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Let me know how it goes, okay?